Part 3, starting at paragraph 192. I took a deep breath, then went back into my old bedroom where I packed up the rest of my shoes, clothes, and novels. Then I went to Big's room, grabbed a photo of us two blowing out the candles on her last birthday cake. My heart ached inside my chest again. I was thankful for all the new opportunities I learned about since living with Uncle Raymond and Gracie, but I still wish more than anything that Big would come into my room and say, "Samaya, put your stuff away, baby. I'm back now. You can come home." Tears came so quickly I could barely see the way back to the SUV. "You all right?" Uncle Raymond asked as he met me on the sidewalk. "No," I squealed. Uncle Raymond pulled me into a tight embrace and let me cry all over his polo shirt. "It's all right, Samaya," he comforted me. "Everything's going to be all right." "But I miss her," I cried. "I do too," he admitted. "You do?" I looked up at him and noticed the pool of water forming in his eyes. "Of course I do. She was my mother." We stood outside for a little longer, then Uncle Raymond said it was time we left. I strapped myself into the front seat and suddenly remembered Alexis's knife, which I'd thrown in my purse during the last visit to Big's house. "Uncle Raymond, can you take me to my friend's house? I need to return something to her." He agreed and I directed him to Alexis's house. Her mother answered the door, took one look at Uncle Raymond's Range Rover, and questioned, "You dealing drugs now?" "No, that's my uncle's car." "What kind of job he got?" she wanted to know. "He's a therapist." "He married?" "Yes, ma'am." She rolled her eyes and she told me I could go into Alexis's room. "Hey," Alexis greeted me with open arms. "How you been?" "I'm good. You?" She smacked her lips. "I'm failing algebra because you ain't here to help me." "Anyway," I sang, "you're perfectly capable of succeeding without me." Snap, she tucked in her chin. "What's with all the big words?" "What?" Alexis mimicked me in a chirpy voice. "Perfectly capable of succeeding without me." I pulled some slang to let her know I was still the same old Samaya. "Don't trip, right?" "That's my girl, but for real, Samaya, you gotta do something about those clothes." I glanced down at my khaki pants and white collared shirt. "We wear uniforms at my new school." "Dang," she shook her head. "That's whack. But check it, I've got some stuff you might like." Close my door. I obeyed her order, wondering what mischief she was hiding from her mother. Alexis quietly opened her closet door and displayed what must have been $1,000 worth of clothes and handbags. "Oh my gosh, Alexis, where did you get all this?" "Shh," she whispered. Upon closer examination of the items in her closet, I recognized several name brands from Gracie's wardrobe. Coach, Donna Karan, Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger. I stood in amazement, my mouth almost touching the floor. Alexis winked at me. "Me and my cousin Trey got a plan. We gonna be rich." A few seconds later, all the pieces came together in my mind. The merchandise, the brands, her secrecy. I whispered the obvious. "Alexis, you're stealing this stuff?" "Duh!" She put her index finger to my forehead. "I steal it, and then Trey takes it to the barbershop and the bazaar and sells it. He gives me half the money. Last week we made like $700. "But Alexis, you're a booster." "It ain't your stuff," she defended herself. "What do you care?" "You're gonna get caught, then what? I mean, think about the consequences." She wagged her head. "I'm 16. Ain't nothing much they can do to me right now. Plus, it'll come off my record when I'm 21. Besides, I ain't gonna get caught. You sound like my mama." I racked my brain for a way to stuff 2 months' worth of Uncle Raymond's lectures into a 2-minute conversation with Alexis. "Look, you have to think about your future. You're smart. You've got your whole life ahead of you, Alexis. Did you know you can go to college for free?" She crossed her arms. "I ain't going to no school for 4 more years." "What about the dental assistant school you wanted to go to?" She brushed me off. "My cousin Deandra went to one of those schools, but it was too hard. She dropped out and she had to pay all the money back. Now she won't even get her income tax for like the next 2 years." I sighed. "Alexis, you're better than this." Then I used big words. "You might live in Brooks Park, but Brooks Park doesn't live in you." Alexis slammed her closet door shut. "You've been out the hood 2 months and you already acting bougie. Come in here using all these big words trying to tell me that what I need to do. If you didn't have that uncle of yours, you'd be boosting right along with me. So just get out of here." I set her knife on the dresser. "I came to give this back to you." "Yeah, you probably don't need knives where you live now." I walked her the door, grabbed the doorknob. "Please, one more time before leaving, Alexis. Please stop boosting. You're going to ruin your life." She grabbed the knife. I said, "Get out." That was my last visit to Brooks Parks almost 2 years ago. Yes, I still miss Big like crazy, but I know she wouldn't want me to stay in Brooks Park if I had another option. I've decided I won't go back until I have something to give. Today I'm a freshman in college. I major in psychology like my uncle. Hopefully someday I'll be able to get inside someone's head the way he got inside mine and to make a difference. I'll set up an office right in the middle of Brooks Park so I can talk to kids. The first thing I'll say is don't let anyone look down on you because you grew up in a tough neighborhood. Secondly, I'll let them know there's another word for Brooks Park, a totally different world.